All right, we are in the presence of greatness, ladies and gentlemen. 5-time PGA Tour winner, one of the most beloved players on the PGA Tour, Rickie Fowler. Welcome and thank you.
Thanks, boys.
Oh, my God.
What a
So
pleasure.
good to see you.
Scovern wanted me to introduce you as the guy that Joe Scovern turned into a superstar, but I buckled under the pressure.
I feel like he definitely didn't say that.
No, I made that up, but I told him I was going to say that, and he said, yeah, do that.
I mean, believe it or not, but, well, I mean, Joe kind of peaked early. We'll say that, but...
Did he peak?
At one point.
Okay.
There was a peak.
There was a peak.
All right, cool.
But Joe is actually someone I looked up to. I still do because I love Joe. I've known him since I was, basically 3 years old. But he was, like, locally growing up in Marietta and our valley. Joe was a good player, great junior player. And he's 8 years older than I am. So when I was... 8, 9, 10, growing up playing junior golf, he's, 16, 17, 18, and he's, one of the best players in the area. So he was someone that I looked up to. And now he carries the bag and works for me. So
Things change, Mox.
And things flip. Yeah. Hell of a high school quarterback, too. Well, we pumped him up a little bit.
I mean,
he was a high school quarterback.
Sneaky athlete. He'll tell you he's not very fast, but,
He's not.
No, he can throw a ball. He can hit a ball decent now, but I mean he'll say he was better back in the day.
So nice.
He is so nice. Yeah, you're right.
What's it like when Rickie Fowler goes back to Marietta? I mean, obviously your family's still there and everything, but I mean, are you just a rock star when you walk around that town?
I mean, it's a low key town, so it's kind of nice. I mean, I'll see friends and family. People are excited to see me back in Marietta, but it's a mellow town, so it's not like there's a homecoming parade or anything like that.
It should be.
Actually, a cool thing about Marietta, we're working on taking over the driving range that I grew up at. And so that'll be something to kind of keep that going and to always be a part of my hometown. But yeah, like I said, it's a very low key. We're almost 2 hours from LA, a little over an hour north of San Diego, inland, a little over an hour from Palm Springs. So it's like right in the middle of everything, and it's almost like an escape from the cities around.
That's cool. I got to ask you this, though, because obviously everyone knows you're big into extreme sports, motocross and all that. But then there's motocross and there's golf. Like, you can't find two more opposite things. No. And that's pretty much all you did. At any point, was it like, were you ever thinking, okay, I'm going to be a professional motocross racer compared to a professional golfer?
No, I mean, a lot of people have asked that, and...
Damn it.
Well, I mean, they bring it up. They ask about it, but... Golf was always number one for me. Yeah. I started playing golf and riding BMX and dirt bikes pretty much the same time. So for me, I fell in love with golf. That was, like I said, that was my number one. I've always really enjoyed riding, building jumps in the yard, dirt jumping. We used to do trips out to the desert, Ocotillo Wells, which isn't far from where I grew up. And so riding was a big part of my life growing up, but it was always second to golf. And I got hurt when I was, multiple times, but the last main one was when I was 15 going into high school. I guess it was actually right before the new year. And that was kind of my wake-up call. If I wanted to pursue golf seriously, that, the bikes were going to kind of have to take a back seat for real.
When's the last time you were on a bike?
Last time I was on a bike, like on a track, has probably been about 7 or 8 years. Yeah. Every once in a while when I get back to California, I'll hop on my dad's bike, or I still have a bike there, but I might just go cruise down the street, go up in the hills, but very mellow. People ask, like, how good were you at riding? And I'm usually on the golf course. I say, well, I was basically like a scratch golfer at riding. So I was good, but I wasn't, hanging with my buddies that went on to race professionally. I wasn't as fast or as good as them, but I could hold my own. I could get around the golf course, the track. So for me, when people would say, can you go ride for fun? That'd be like saying, go shoot 87 and go have fun.
No problem.
Do it all the time, dude. You are way underestimating us.
Well, okay, go shoot 87 when you're playing a match for money.
Never mind, I'm out.
All right, that makes more sense. Well, let's go back to the Marietta Valley Golf Range. I want to know about Barry McDonald, your first coach, Big B. Tell us who he is.
So Big B was, the guy that taught me how to kind of play golf, and I've got actually first tattoo was his signature on my wrist.
Oh, wow.
So he used to, where that came from, he used to do a lot of kind of pencil and charcoal drawings. And I have a few at the house, but he'd draw anything. One of his main, who he loved to draw, was Ben Hogan. He also loved boxing, so he drew a lot of old-time boxers. So I have a couple Hogan pictures that he's done at the house, and I took a picture of his signature there and then had it done. But yeah, he's the one that I took lessons from growing up. Very old school. He'd always carry Hogan's, like, what is it? I think five lessons
fundamentals
or 5 fundamentals. He'd always have that in his back pocket, but was very old school. Probably didn't know how to work a video camera. I've never seen him with one, and it was very much just go out and hit shots. If I was drawing it too much or cutting it too much, it'd be like, all right, hit a couple hooks and then see where we're at from there, and kind of dig it out of the dirt. So he's also someone that my parents trusted to where they would just drop me off at the range as a kid after school or on the weekends and just leave me there and pick me up at dark, and I'd be just hanging out with him. So I spent probably almost as much time with him as I did my family growing up.
Yeah, I know he's super special to you. And do you think his style, like you talked about, like, all right, if I'm slicing it too much, try to hit some hooks. If I'm hooking too much, try to hit some slice. Do you think spending that much time on the range before you actually started getting out to a golf course consistently, like, helped you in that once you got out there, like, I already know how to move it both ways? Yeah,
it was definitely a way of learning kind of the fundamentals and not going too mechanical. Like if I was sitting there and he'd say, let's hit a draw from this pin over to here. Because the range that I grew up at is very flat. There's some pins out there, but luckily it's all grass, so you're getting the real effect. You're not hitting off of a mat. And just learning how to hit golf shots and not necessarily teaching, all right, you have to be in this position to do this. It's like, all right, you got to hit it from here and make it go to there. Figure it out.
Do it, yeah.
So once I got on the golf course, and even in today where I'm at, sometimes I just go back to thinking of swing thoughts are out the window, and sometimes that's where a lot of guys hit the best shots are in the trees. You got to start at left of this tree. It's got to start at this trajectory, hit this window, and move to here. Sometimes you're in the middle of the fairway and the pin's in the middle of the green and barely hit the green. But if you got those little windows, so I think that was a good thing that taught me kind of the imagination of it, and being able to hit shots when you're out there on the golf course, trying to visualize those things when there's nothing really there to look at.
Yeah, you're playing the game, not golf swing.
Such a good way to learn, I feel like, especially at the beginning when you're first starting.
That. But you had a superstar junior career, leads you to Oklahoma State. But by the way, I have to say this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but am I correct? You revealed which school you were going to by which head cover you had on at a tournament the next day.
Oh, nice.
That is true, but
I heard this and I hated you.
And
now I love you.
Well, prior to that, not a lot of people know I had verbally committed to UCLA. Philip Francis and I were kind of trying to go to school together. And it really came down to Oklahoma State, UCLA, two very different schools. One being in the city, still plenty of golf courses and great golf in LA around, to Oklahoma State, college town, have our own golf course, very far from home. UCLA, not too far. So we had verbaled, and it kind of got to the point where I felt like I made a decision kind of too early. I wanted to take official visits and see what was really out there and make the decision on my own. So ultimately ended up at Oklahoma State, and I put the head covers on at USAM after I made the cut there.
What was it about going to Stillwater, seeing it, whatever, that being like, I like this better than I want to be in LA?
For me, like I talked about earlier, Murrieta is very much like a get away from the city town, especially when I was growing up. When I was a little kid, it was about 20,000 people in Murrieta. Now it's, I think, around 110, 120,000. So it's grown over the years, but I grew up in basically a small town, and everyone said, going to Stillwater, how is it? It's got to be so much different from California. Well, like the town I grew up in, it's a small town like Stillwater. There's just more attached to it and some bigger cities close by. But I love the small town feel, slow pace. There's no traffic except for game day. Don't catch the wrong side of game day traffic.
And they turn out a lot of tour players too.
They do okay in golf. Yeah, you guys are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they've had a pretty darn good history.
It's unbelievable.
So yeah, from Labor and Harris to obviously Holder, everything he did there, and leading up to McGraw and now Alan Bratton and Donnie Darr. It's just a place for golf.
I ran into Coach Holder in Vegas one night. It was so exciting. I was with Jeff Quinney was actually there.
Oh, boy.
We both look at each other and we're like, is that Coach Holder? And I went over and I was like, Coach Holder, Colt Knost. We started talking. We played blackjack until probably 4 or 5 in the morning. It was awesome.
I've heard that one.
He likes to send it a little bit.
I feel like I was always a little afraid of him.
Oh my God, I was terrified.
Like, there's Coach Holder. Don't do anything stupid. Yeah.
No, he's got that presence about him.
Yeah, for sure. Old school.
There's plenty of stories about him when he was head coach, just from discipline to punishment workouts, all kinds of stuff. He ran a tight ship there at Oklahoma State, and it's something that got handed down from Labor and Harris to him, and it still continues on.
But he can flip a few cards in Vegas. He ain't
Yes,
afraid,
he can.
he ain't afraid to do that at all.
But you've had success at every level you've played. We played on the 2007 Walker Cup together. You also played on the 2009 Walker Cup team. I got to ask you, don't answer it just because I'm sitting here. Which team was better?
7.
Thank you. Didn't even have to hesitate. I love it.
But 9 was great. And, I mean, just to go into it a little bit more, I mean, when you look at 7 and 9, I was a pick in 7 and was kind of like just trying to fit in. I'm playing with, I think Stanley and I were picks. And, I mean, from you down the line, I mean, you look at the team, it's a pretty successful team post Walker Cup. And I'm the guy that's there as a pick trying to make my pick worthy. So a lot of pressure on me there. We go on to all have a great Walker Cup win.
Well, you played all 4 matches. So you
did
okay.
As a kid, yeah.
But going to 09, I can't remember exactly how many. I know Harmon and I, but I'm not sure if there were any others or many more that had played a Walker Cup before. So I went from like the little kid on the team to now I'm the vet in 2 years. So it was two very different experiences. But 7 was pretty special.
You can obviously relate to this because you've played on both sides. But I feel like I've only played a Walker Cup on foreign soil, and I just feel like it's such a bigger deal over there. Like their crowds are incredible, or insane over there. What's it like playing over here in America? Do they get behind it over here as much?
I mean, to be honest, it is bigger overseas. Yeah. You can see it a little bit in Ryder Cups as well. I mean, I love playing them on both sides, but it's something about going overseas as kind of the away team, and the fans over there are great. They're gonna cheer for good golf, regardless. Obviously, they're pulling harder for their home team, but you play well, make a putt or hit a good shot or win your match. Congrats, you played better. You win. But playing at home, is the complete flip is like. They're pulling so hard for you, and you're the home team. But it's almost in a way like more pressure, just because you have all that weight from all the home fans on you. So, 2 very different experiences. I'm fortunate to have seen both sides and
it's pretty special to play.
A few different things.
Yeah,
not a lot of two-timers on there. You played with Horschel in 07. You played with DJ, right? How does the team room work? Is it like, hey, I want to play with him, and another guy, I want to play with that guy? How are the 4 balls picked?
I was a pick, so I just fit in.
You said I'll play with whoever?
Yeah. I was like, you want me to play, I'll go. And I remember my first match when I went out with Billy, I couldn't find the map for the first few holes, and we're playing alternate shots. So I'm hitting every other shot, trying to get into a rhythm. I struggled. We're 4 down through 5, and our captain, Buddy Marucci, comes up to us and like, you guys okay? And both Billy and I are like, yeah, we're good. And Billy was a little bit more as you can imagine, the energy.
The vocal.
Yeah.
The rah-rah. Yeah, he was the start hitting a fairway kid.
So we, from there, we turned all square. And it was definitely a very memorable match that could have went the wrong way very quickly after that start. But I mean, it's just those team events bring out some of the coolest and most memorable experiences.
Billy was that guy that you wanted on your team, and you damn sure didn't want to play against him. He
Yeah.
drove you crazy if you played against him.
I could imagine.
He's got plenty of energy, but
Yeah,
we love the guy.
He goes. He ain't afraid.
Yeah. But you play the 09 Walker Cup, and you turn pro in 2009, and you're the can't miss kid. You're the kid coming out. Do you feel like there was is it tough playing when you're the guy that's being talked about all the time? Like, is there a little extra pressure, especially when the media's nonstop? Like, this is the next big thing in golf.
Yeah, there's always that added pressure. I feel like, I mean, you would know as far as, being in the position of playing professional golf. I feel like us as players, you've played professional golf too.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Just not the tour, but
I mean, similar.
It's not real professional golf.
One event, dude. It's no big.
But the thing is like you personally, or as you should, you have the highest expectations or put the most pressure on yourself. There is that added pressure and stuff going on out there, and at a young age, it is tougher to deal with. It's gotten a lot easier over time as I've dealt with it and played well and struggled at times, and kind of in a low point right now with kind of working on stuff and grinding through it. But that's part of it. Like I said, I think at the end of the day, as a player, you have the highest expectations of yourself and put the most pressure on yourself. So whether you read comments to what's written in the media, it is what it is. But
do you pay attention to what?
A little bit. I'll see stuff here and there. Sometimes I like to look at some articles and use it as motivation. Before I won the Players, I think it was Poulter and I that were voted. I don't know who or what voted, but most overrated players.
I didn't vote for you, Rick.
That's fine. You should have voted.
He's lying.
No,
you told me.
Led me to a victory that week.
Yeah, it worked out good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you handled the pressure obviously very well. You turned pro. You finished 7th at the Shriners in your first start, losing a playoff in your second event at the Fries at Greyhawk, and then you go second at Pebble Beach, and then boom, you go through Q School, get your tour card. Like, looking back on that now, 10, 11 years later, whatever it is, like, is that if you put that in perspective, like just how impressive that was for a kid like your age to do that? That's not. I mean, that's hard.
Yeah, and I mean, it's getting harder and harder every year. So if someone to go do that, this fall versus when I did it, it was easier than when I did it. I feel like the depth of the tour and the players that are coming out keep getting better and better. But it's still impressive to go back and think about it because I waited to turn pro so I could play the 09 Walker Cup. So I only had a limited stretch of tournaments that I could play. And after, I think it was 3, so I played the Fries, played the Vegas. Jackson got rained out, so that was a tournament that I didn't get to play to try and make some more money. Disney, I think I needed to finish about top 10 to get my card. Didn't do that, went to Q School. But no, I'm happy it went that way because you never know, where it can go from there. You see a lot of good players that out of college or when they get starts, if they don't play well out of the gate, it can be a long shuffle until they, get their card, or is it Webb, or is it, Canadian Tour, Latin America. It's tough. So I was very fortunate to just play well and get myself out.
And that's what I think is so crazy about like these kids coming out nowadays with the Matthew Wolff, Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, like how good they are. You used to be the young guy out there. Now you're not quite the young guy anymore. I mean, you're 30 now.
I get to kind of assume a vet
young.
role.
Yeah, you're a little veteran role. But why do you think these kids are coming out immediately and having so much success compared to, like, it used to be like if an amateur got in a PGA Tour event or a young kid, it was like, okay, let's make the cut, and that's a big deal. Now it's like, no, we're going to try to win first week out.
Yeah. No, I like I talked about when, my fall to get my card was good. To do that now is even harder. That level of competition or the depth continues to keep pushing further and further back, and you go back to guys like Tiger that pushed our generation to, I feel like, guys like me, DJ, now JT, Jordan, other guys are pushing these young kids, and there's more and more kids playing, better competition when they're teeing it up, whether it's at a, AJGA event or wherever they're at. And so that level of competition keeps getting better and better at every level. And coming out of amateur golf and college golf, they're playing against guys that, can play on the tour. Mm-hmm. So that's what you're seeing from Matt, Javi, Colin. They're not scared.
No, they're not. It's incredible.
How much different is it, do you think, now compared to like when you first came out winning to now? Like, can you quantify it? And how good these young kids are and how much tougher it is now versus like 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about depth. I mean, the tour's always had plenty of depth. You see guys win tournaments that are ranked 200, 300, 400 in the world. Everyone can play. Just because you're ranked number one and you go into match play event against 64, like there might be a slight favor towards number one, but it can be a coin flip at days. That's golf, but I mean, I would even look at, like, you start talking about the distance side of things and the speed. It'd be interesting to look at like average ball speed or club head speed on tour. Yeah. That's gone up since I've turned pro.
Feels like it goes up every minute.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, if you were low 170s ball speed coming out on tour when I did in 2010, that was definitely above average, around 30th. Now if you're 170 ball speed, you're kind of hanging back there a little bit.
And if you're 155, you're doing a podcast.
Here we are.
Exactly. Where do you fall on that though right now in this this craze, the race for speed, everybody trying to get longer and things like that? Are you buying into that? Is speed something you're trying to get? Are you trying to get longer? Or are you just kind of like, you know what, I'm good where I am and I'm going to work on everything else?
No, I'm not trying to necessarily bulk up. I don't really have the frame.
You're looking
for
fit,
it.
though.
I think
you're talking about this earlier. You're looking fit.
Nice.
Fit and bulk is.
Frank didn't believe you.
You got some bulk.
Frank, can you help me? No, I'm someone that fluctuates between low 150s and high 150s. So that's pounds in weight. Standing at 5'8". So I'm more of a efficiency guy and control. I'm not someone that's going to be able to look. I mean, if I were to go to Bryson's kind of stature, I might be up there, like 205. That'd be
a lot of weight for
Rickie. That'd be a lot.
You got to eat. I don't know. There's enough eating.
I don't think I can. I love to eat, but you
got your work cut out.
Be a lot to try to do. So I'm someone that's a lot more of trying, not trying necessarily gain distance, but be as efficient as possible. Stay strong, stay healthy. I hit it far enough, but I'm never going to get to a point where, I've got 200 plus ball speed. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Do you like the way, do you like what he's doing? Do you respect it? Or is it like, okay, this is getting a little out of control?
No, I do. I mean, I love being able to, see where the limits can go. Obviously there's been a lot of talk, probably over the last 10 years of, golf courses are starting to get, kind of out of date, or the ball's going too far, or the equipment's getting too easy to hit, or stuff like that. For years, I've practiced with persimmon drivers and go play with Bellatas or professional balls, but every once in a while.
How much harder is it?
It's harder, but I love it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it makes me kind of focus a little bit more, and you got to hit it out of the middle.
I mean, you do hit it out of the middle, though, so that's...
It just kind of zeroes you in a little bit more.
You think focuses on the, it narrows the gap between, talent, and there's not as much, room.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like equipment has definitely helped, some guys be, better. And I wouldn't say, the top players would still be the top players with whatever equipment. They're figuring out and doing it better than anyone else at whatever period of time they're at. But with older equipment or balls that maybe don't go as far or curve more, it would be tougher for some guys that maybe equipment has made the game more accessible too. But would it be as fun, or would people at home want to go play with that equipment? No, they want to hit it far, they want to spin the ball, and they want to make birdies. But it's an interesting debate. But hey, I'd be all for teeing it up with persimmons and old balls.
I said this, and I'd love to hear your opinion. Technology, in my opinion, hurt Tiger Woods. It brought a lot more, like when Tiger was in his prime, it brought people way closer to him. He was so much better than everyone else. And then the equipment got better, and it kind of narrowed the gap a little bit.
Yeah, when you looked at him through, late 90s, early 2000s, was the longest off the tee, was the straightest, hit the most greens, and I think led putting. There was at some point in there that he did, and he wasn't far off on those other years around it. So at that point, yeah, he can obviously hit it out of the middle. He's got plenty of speed, and he can control it and make putts. Yeah. Like, how are you going to beat him?
What else? What else can you do? I mean, that's it.
I think you're good. If you hit the fairway, hit the green, and make putts,
seems like you'd be doing.
We can figure out the rest.
I wouldn't know, but it feels like the right blueprint. Well, let's go to the Olympics. I want to talk about the Olympics with you because that's one thing that you got that's unique that not a lot of guys have. You got a chance to represent the U.S. in 2016. Where does that week rank for you in terms of like most memorable weeks of your life?
Yeah, we won't really talk about the golf or where I finished, but
leave that out. I don't really care about that part.
Yeah, as far as experience, I mean, because like as a golfer growing up, I mean, everyone, whether you're an athlete or not, watch the Olympics. It's exciting to watch. It's every 4 years. Well, if you're watching winter and summer, you got it every 2 years. But it's a iconic event, historic. Going back as far as you want to go. But it's the Olympics. Like, you watch opening ceremonies, see everyone walk, everyone represent their country. So for me, I wish I would have been able to experience the whole 2 weeks. But we were playing the first week, and I had to get back to play the second back in the U.S. So I got to walk in opening ceremonies, and that's a dream come true of basically a dream that I was never able to have because golf wasn't there. You always thought like it'd be awesome to be able to walk opening or closing or be at the Olympics, but golf was not an option. And I'm not fast enough. I can't jump high enough. I can't do any of the other Olympic sports good enough. So to be able to experience that, to thinking back when I was a kid watching the Olympics, like, man, that must be pretty special. It's really cool, but I don't think golfers or in our space are able to really, like, truly appreciate the Olympics. From, my wife, Allison, being a pole vaulter and a true Olympic sport, the Olympics was, like, the absolute pinnacle of her sport to other sports, track sports and stuff like that. So I can't even imagine, what it's like for someone in, like track and field or some other sports that have been an Olympic sport forever to have that as a dream growing up and train for that forever and ever. And then that 4-year window of your time comes and you get to do that. It's something that we can't really appreciate.
Can you tell me about the Olympic Village? I'm very fascinated by the Olympic Village. What is that like? Is that like college dorms, but just with the best athletes on the planet?
Basically, U.S. they were basically like high-rise condos. So the U.S. had their own just because of how many athletes we had down there. A handful of other countries shared. Some were shared by like 2, some are shared by 6 or 7 countries. But it literally is a village. And go down, you have a big gym where everyone can train at. Went in there a few times, like some golf movement and stuff. I looked pretty around. Cool. Yeah. Looked pretty cool when I've got like
Usain Bolt,
a chick over here just deadlifting a lot more than what I weigh and what I'm doing. I'm just doing this movement stuff. I'm like, Troy, my trainer that was down there, I was like, let's just wrap it up and go.
We'll finish this later. Yeah, dude, I feel pretty good.
It was really cool because you've got everyone walking around there. It's basically just athletes, trainers, and people involved with the team. And where I had some of the most fun was just in the dining hall. It's weird to call it like a dining hall, but you walk in the middle, they're scanning everyone's passes, and from the middle split, it's about probably 400 yards wide and about 100 yards deep, and you've got the identical buffet going both ways from food from all over the world. And hey,
Frankie.
So I walked in opening ceremonies with basically all of our dive team for the U.S., and so I got to become good friends with a lot of them and went and watched them a decent amount, and a lot of us would eat together throughout the week, and we just go in there, hang out, grab food, meet at a table, and you've got hundreds of other athletes eating around you. So it was just crazy to see how big it was, how many people, how many athletes. I remember we'd always grab Fruit Loops for dessert, crush some Fruit Loops, and head out.
Nice. Do you mingle with other countries? Or do you strictly stay with the U.S.? Or are you hanging out with did you get to meet any big athletes from other countries?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, some countries there's some language barriers. It was pretty cool to have other athletes that are golf fans and come up, say hi, and talk a little bit. But it felt like, in a way, a lot of the countries, or I wouldn't say necessarily teams or disciplines, were everyone would kind of hang together and do their own thing. But you're all in a big old tent, hanging out, eating food, so you cross paths a decent amount.
Is it something you want to qualify for another team? Is that a big goal of yours?
It is, but I got a lot of work to do.
Well, that's beside the point.
No, it would definitely be something that I wouldn't miss if I had the opportunity to do it again.
Well, I know one of your favorite events on the PGA Tour is the Waste Management Phoenix Open. You had a lot of close calls there over the years, and then you finally got the monkey off your back last year when you got the W. How special is that tournament to you, and what is it that brings out the best in Rickie Fowler?
Well, for me, it starts with the Thunderbirds and,
Thunderbird right there, by the way.
There you go.
Newest.
Well, he wasn't around when the people I'm talking about.
Yeah. Nah, if you need a sandwich on number 8 next year, text me. I'll get that right out to you,
bro. The tournament and the people have been special to me. They gave me a spot in 2009 to come down and play as an amateur when I was still at school. So that alone was just a really cool experience. I didn't make the cut, but to be there and just experience the Phoenix Open was special. But it's definitely an atmosphere that I grew up around, with going and watching Supercross and growing up around dirt bikes. It's a loud, rowdy crowd, especially as once you get there, 10 green, 11 tee, 16, 17, 18. So if it was like that every week, it'd kind of get old, but it's like that one week, it's so special. And when you're going to that little stretch at the end on the weekend, you get the glimpse of it, like I said, on 10 and 11, or 10 green, 11 tee. You get your breather, and once you get to 15, you're just taking a deep breath and let's get this home.
Yeah, but you're loved, so they say nice things to you. Imagine being someone when they say the mean things too.
I mean, I've seen plenty of the highlights of the good and the bad.
It is such a cool place.
I mean, I've gotten booed plenty of times for not hitting a good shot on 16 or
that's
missing.
The meanest thing.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, way to go, Rick! Give me a ball," and then they love you again.
Yeah. No, I haven't had to deal with the complete heckling.
Yeah, I don't think you ever will. It's perfect that you brought up the Phoenix Open, because I want to I got this story from Gary McCord yesterday. So apparently, you stayed with him at his house.
My rookie year.
God bless you, for the first 2 years, from what I was told, right? So you went out there and you lived with Gary McCord for a week at a time, 2 years straight. Second year that you came out there, he said, "All right, you're staying in my house, you're eating my food, you got to put in a little work for me." And you went out and caddied for Gary McCord on the Monday qualifier as he was prepping for a Champions Tour event. Tell me about that day.
What was the Monday qualifier for the Phoenix Open?
Yeah. But he was doing it. He basically told me, I was like, I knew I wasn't getting in, but I just needed a round.
So it was, we went out that morning, and I told him, I mean, I had been and played the course at the Phoenix Open, so I wasn't worried about Monday, like I needed to go practice or anything like that. So I mean, a pretty standard, Phoenix kind of late January, early February day. It was cold and raining, which doesn't happen. So I suited up, full rain gear, grabbed the bag. I'll tell you what, Gary drove the hell out of it that day.
That was nice.
That was about it.
Yep, that's
fairly
accurate.
He probably talked a lot.
We had a really good time. It was fun, but
he said you caddied your ass off for him, is what he said. He's like, I was so bad, and he was reading putts, breaking bunkers, coming up, running up. He's like, he couldn't have been a better caddy for as bad as I was playing.
Well, like I said, at least we weren't searching for balls because he drove it nice.
Yeah, he drove
Outside of that, I just had to take care of the little things.
Did you play he said that you played the 18th. At the 18th hole, he's like, I'm a million over. I'm done. I just say, Rickie, play this hole. And he said you grabbed the driver out of his bag and played the 18th.
I may have hit a shot. I
He lies a lot.
I can't recall the rest.
He
maybe.
can't either.
Yeah,
there's no telling.
He lies
There
a lot.
might have been
so
some
it's hard to
embellish.
know.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's probably. He said you had a driver and a 3-wood on the green and made birdie, and we didn't even putt. He walked off the course. And I was like, all right, well, I'll ask him, but it sounds made up from that point.
Yeah, I don't know if I can attest to that or not.
The fact that you survived 2 weeks staying at his house, you're
It's
stronger
an
than
accomplishment.
most.
Yeah.
How much do you think the golf world misses him being in the broadcast booth?
I miss him.
Yeah.
Being able to, like, he would always come up and down the range, and I've known him for quite a while, and going back to caddying for him, but he's someone that brings a lot of energy and definitely a character, and some of the stuff he comes up with or says, I mean, you don't know where it even comes from.
He doesn't either.
He's
No,
special.
I know.
Yeah.
So I miss him. I don't know if I can speak for everyone else in the golf world, but I thought he was awesome and fun to have around.
Yeah, I think he's a breath of fresh air out there. I want to ask you one question. It's kind of off topic here, but you're in the featured pairings pretty much every group that you play, or every tournament you play, right? You're always going to be one of the guys everyone wants to see. It makes sense. But you get paired a lot with, like, a lot of the same people, a lot of your closest friends. You get paired with, JT or whoever. A lot of overlap. Do you enjoy playing, like, in tournament rounds with your best friends over and over? Or is it kind of like, dude, it's almost too light, I lose the competitive edge a little bit?
No, I like it. And a lot of people they've given me a hard time for when me or other players have stayed to congratulate someone that's won. To me, the people I want to beat most are my friends, because I don't want them to have bragging rights over me. So, if I go out and congratulate, whether it be JT or Jordan or Bubba, whoever it may be, when they win, it's like, I'm already done playing. I've done everything I can do, so I can't change or have an effect. So, like, I'm pumped for you. You won this week. Let's go celebrate. But playing with your friends, or, JT and I were in the final group when I won Phoenix Open. Like, I want to beat those guys, because you want to be able to have that to, like, hold over them for that tournament for basically the whole year coming up.
Who would give you a hard time for standing around to congratulate people, your buddies, after they win? I feel like, was that Twitter? Is that social media people, or what?
It's unfortunate, the people or the so-called fans that want to talk trash on us. But yes, there's people that hate on that. So
yeah. What an asshole, sticking around to congratulate his buddy. I hate this. I mean, it's
like, I'm done playing. I'm sorry.
I'm
like,
over. It's my buddy. I'm gonna say good job.
I finished. I can't do anything else. Like, good playing. Let's go
Never
have a Corona.
underestimate social media and the depths that it can go to.
All right.
Now you want to fire it?
Let's get deep. Let's go into the emergency 9. We do this with every guest. 9 fun questions. Some are fun, some are serious. Just get to know Rickie just a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start it off, and this is an easy one, because
this is
easy for you. This is the easiest one we've ever had. Okay, movie about the life of Rickie Fowler. Who plays Rickie Fowler? You can pick any actor.
Yeah, you can switch it.
And you're gonna have 5. I know. It's ridiculous.
Well, let me tell you.
Young or older?
You get to pick.
You
It's
get
your
to be.
movie. You get to pick. And we give our opinion as well.
Okay. I would say, if we're going off, like, people have said that I look like Zac Efron to, like, Leonardo DiCaprio. So if we're going off looks, I don't know, I'd probably pick Leo there.
Wow. Think highly of yourself.
Jesus. How's your ego?
That's not from me. I
had Johnny Depp. So
I don't compare it to that. Johnny, I mean, my one of my favorite actors, I'd have to go, like, Denzel Washington, but
you're gonna have to fight Gary Woodland for that one.
Playing him.
He's gonna have a busy summer.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna work.
See, exactly. Yeah. Gary's not very smart.
No, he's not. I had you as The Rock. Yeah, Leo, I don't really see it, but I feel like The Rock. You're right in there. Okay.
He may have to bulk up a little bit, but
yeah, he's gonna have to do some things. But he's a method actor. He'll get into it. All right, next question. I feel like your ink is increasing on your body. How many do we have right now, and what's your favorite?
Let's see. What am I? 7. Well,
ink means tattoos, people.
Yes, tattoos.
This is 1, so you can't.
That
count
counts
those.
as 1, right?
Yeah, that's my grandpa's name. Got the G for Georgia Beach. Barry. Wedding date was the latest. Got a cross, got an F, got the rings, but you can't show that. IOC doesn't like that.
Any more in the works? Any upcoming plans? Or is it just all like impromptu whenever you feel like it?
I wouldn't say impromptu. I feel like, so everything I have or have done is, there's meaning. It's something that's not going to go away. Like my mom and sister, I think my dad's still going to get it, but my mom and sister are going to get the F. It was just a, kind of family thing for Fowler. Unfortunately, I had to pay my sister to get it, but and she barely made it for like.
You had to pay her?
You had to pay her to get it?
She barely made it like 30 seconds. She has to go in for a touch-up.
Oh, really?
All right, make us this deal. When you win your first major, you get the trophy tatted somewhere on you.
Okay, done.
Deal. All right, also next bet, when you win, Subpar on the face.
Right under the...
Yeah, I think it's one of those cheek ones.
Always
those are
tired.
getting hot. Those are getting hot right now. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's a deal. That's on camera. So
I like
that's
it.
binding.
All right, this one's somewhat serious. Okay, if your career ended today, would you be satisfied?
It's a hard question. No, I wouldn't personally, but as a kid looking at where I am, I would, just because my dream as a kid was to play the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. And so I've done that, but I want more. I mean, as anybody that plays competitively, like, I want to be the best that I can be. But if I were to go kind of deep and back in the day, as a kid growing up, my dream was to play the PGA Tour. And yeah, you always dreamed of, walking up 18 at Augusta and, that walk to win, but the dream was just to be a PGA Tour player. So now I get to live out that dream and, see how good we can make it.
That's cool. Yeah.
All right, mine's a little less serious than that. I'm gonna.
I had to get one serious one.
Yeah, well, I like the serious ones too. But I'm going to audible here. Craziest thing or body part you've ever been asked to autograph?
Not what you think.
sign a lot. What do you think I was thinking?
I haven't been asked to sign what you think.
What do you? I honestly don't know.
It's a family show, Rick. We don't think about anything. Those things.
Yeah, I
was thinking like a program or. Okay.
No, I would say I thought one of the kind of coolest, most unique, because I haven't signed many of them, but there was a guy behind the fourth green at Bay Hill. He had a little trash can that you'd basically put like in your bathroom, and he was having everyone sign it. I thought that was kind of a cool, random idea.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So you wouldn't just have like a random white little trash can by your toilet.
You could throw your wet snot onto Rickie Fowler.
Yeah.
Good. That makes sense. Didn't you sign a baby?
For a commercial.
Oh, okay. That was just for the commercial.
It was not.
You didn't actually sign
I thought it was real.
I did, but it was not in Sharpie.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And the baby just stood there.
Just took it?
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
That's weird.
All right. Well, the last few years at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, you've rented the legend Jeff Quinney's house, which I helped broker, by the way. But the first year you stay there, you win. You stay again. But the first year he stayed there, he left you a bottle of wine and an autographed picture.
Yep.
Do you still have the autographed picture from Jeff Quinney?
It's at the house.
What does it say on it? First off, he spelled your name wrong. I know that.
He did. There was a
Y.
Y?
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm trying to remember what it said.
He normally writes,
exactly.
I love your body.
No, it was not that.
Autographs it.
I can't remember the exact words.
I love that you still have it, though.
It's at the house.
Left some flowers, a bottle of wine, and
I
an
think
autographed
this year
picture.
It's meaningful.
Because I think this year he left a picture for JT.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
That is a good. That's what Quinney is. If ever he was anything, that's what he is. All right. Most fun non-golf celebrity to hang out with.
Remember, I don't play golf anymore.
He's still in golf world. Don't count.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Non-golf. I'm going to go MJ.
Yeah, that's probably tough to argue
Is that
with.
up there?
Yeah, I feel like that's the trump card.
Okay, career against MJ, up or down money? You playing golf against MJ.
You against MJ.
On the golf course.
Yep.
Are you up or down? Lifetime.
I'm up.
He's tough.
Yes, that's only because I haven't played him much at Grove. It's basically called, the nickname for it is Slaughterhouse 23.
Oh. God, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
That's
good.
really good.
So leading up to the Grove opening, which was a little over a year ago, we've only played together there match wise a couple times. There's a few other courses where I feel like it's in my favor if I play well. Grove is just like, if I don't play absolutely nice that day, I have no chance.
Well, it's his golf course, so it's set up very well for him, right?
Exactly.
What makes that the case? What is it? Wide open or easier off the tee or what?
Not necessarily. It's almost, the shorter you hit it, the wider it is.
Perfect.
Take me now.
Hello, sweetheart.
And so the tees and pins are done every day. So the golf course is basically set up around, they can play as long as you want, but they set the back tees at roughly 7 to 7,100. And MJ just plays the back tees wherever they set them, and they set it up kind of based on where the wind is that day. So it's cool to have kind of that thought that goes into it. It's not just like tees stay in the same spot or move one back and just throw the pin wherever. Like the par threes, if it's into the wind, they're going to move up. If it's downwind, they're going to move back. The pin's not going to be front if it's down, and different stuff like that. But it's a golf course where he can basically hit driver on all the par fours, par fives. And if I want to hit driver, I have to kind of put it into a little bit of a tighter spot. Mm-hmm. And I can obviously play back if I want, but that becomes a little bit of a disadvantage, especially if it's a hole where he's getting a stroke on. He's great with wedges in his hands around the greens, bunker player. He'll putt anyone straight up. Like, you can't kind of, if I'm giving him a shot, I can't then play from the same spot he is when he's laying zero. It's
how many shots do you have to give him?
10.
Woo! That's tough.
Well-designed course by
See, that's
MJ.
how much he respects me. I have to give him 8.
8?
Yeah, probably down to 6 now.
Well, it's tough.
Might be straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure when the last time I broke 70, but he can shoot anywhere from. I've seen him plenty of times shoot, 71 to 74.
Yeah, that's a problem with 10.
Given 10,
much,
given
very
10,
much.
that's an issue.
Yeah, but he on the high end, he's going to shoot maybe low 80s. A lot of times he's shooting that 75 to 80 window. But at 10 shots, because some of those are a lost ball double or whatever it may be. If he's shooting 77 and he's got a double in there, it's like I got to shoot 65 to get to 18.
To hang, yeah. Yep, that makes it tough.
That's awesome. I can't wait to play it. All
right, and I think he strokes on 18 too. So
of course he does.
Yeah,
of course he makes it.
Design the place.
All right, you played 4 Ryder Cup teams. We're just going to imagine you're obviously going to qualify for the next one. We're going to make that happen. Okay, the whole Ryder Cup comes down to your single match. It's all on you. You can pick any guy on the European Tour team, past, present, future, whatever you want. Who are you playing in that Ryder Cup match? Who do you want to
just smack right in the mouth?
Who do I want to? Well, is it just that I actually have to go out and
you're going to win?
It's not. Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to
who
win.
Do you want to, Who do you want to beat?
The
whole thing's on you.
I'm gonna go with Sergio. Partly because he's a good friend of mine, but he won his last match against me in Paris to become the all-time points leader. So I feel like I helped get him that. So then
you owe him one.
No, he owes me one.
Well, yeah,
but I owe him one.
You owe him a beating.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun.
I feel like it'd be fair. He got one from me, and I get one from him.
Yeah. All right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Next question. Give me the first moment where you realized, like, holy shit, I'm famous.
It still goes on. Like,
is it tonight on the show? Getting asked?
It's actually a great point.
What is this thing?
Could be tonight.
No, there's still times where, like, I remember, like, thinking back a couple of years, my mom and I were going to the grocery store. It's dark out, and we're walking through the parking lot to go into the grocery store, and someone stops and, like, yells my name, and she's like, "How do they know it's you?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, Mom, I'm autographing babies on TV.
Yeah. Or, like, even, like, wearing masks and stuff and people recognizing, like, it's awesome, and it's a great thing. I mean, to be recognized or people wanted me to come on, these darn podcasts, and
it's big.
That's a good thing. So it never really ceases to amaze me that, when people recognize me, or like I said, with a mask on or whatever it may be, it's cool. It's humbling, but I don't think you ever really like get to the point where I haven't, where like, oh, I'm famous. Look at me.
Yeah, but you're so good with the fans. Like, I mean, we've played a lot of practice rounds together, and like, there'll be a bunch of people out there following, and you'll be like, listen, I'll get to you after the round, I promise. And just, you don't want to sign while you're working and all that. And you get done, and you sit there until every single person has an autograph. And I just can't applaud you enough for that. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, like I said, it's great, or it's a really good thing to have, like, the people that want that or being asked for things. But there is a time and place, and that time management part of it. I would say that's been one of the easiest things with this kind of pandemic and new life on tour is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday not having fans has made it a lot easier to just go play golf or go practice or get done what you want to get done. But I miss the fans come Thursday to Sunday and being able to feed off them and have them out there. But it's you can't do it without the fans.
Yeah, and I got to ask you that. This is off subject, but we're at Justin's house right now, and I don't know if you've been experiencing the same thing, but I asked Justin, like, ever since we came back with no fans, my TV, the sound keeps going in and out every time they show Justin on TV. Does yours experience the same thing at all when you're watching him?
Well, I think for the most part, we've played about the same events, and then I haven't watched him so I don't know.
Check on it. If you take an off week and he plays, check on it.
Yeah.
It's this weird little glitch, right? Like
just kind of
right after he hits.
It's just weird. It
just goes out. Then it comes back, though.
I feel like I need a new TV, but I don't know. All right, I got to ask you this. Last one.
I think that's a player problem.
As we mentioned earlier, you played on one of the few guys to play on two Walker Cup teams, 2007, 2009. Both teams won. Whose victory party was the best?
Oh, it's not even close.
Well, I don't know how 09 went. I don't know how 07 went either. But
well, 07 started with, there was a dinner for both teams and families. Went through the dinner, and it starts to get to like dessert time. And then all of a sudden, Colt comes through the doorway with a tray full of shots.
Yep.
It's not the first tray, though. I can't remember exactly what color the first tray was. But I'm going to go with red or white. The next, so let's start with red. The next tray that came in was white, and then the next tray was blue.
America.
Yeah. My guy makes sure everyone has a good time. You know what I mean? He's a good host.
I did until the next morning.
That's what he does.
So you're saying the party at 09 wasn't quite as good as 07?
No. I don't. There wasn't much of anything.
I'm going to have to sit this 09
Just
team down.
You got to captain. No, you need to captain this team, take it over, and make sure they learn how to celebrate properly.
You have a lot of say in this golf world. I need to be a Walker Cup captain.
I'd
can
love
you do that? He can do that. He can do whatever he wants.
But I think going back to 07 is, we're staying there at the Sleeve Down, right off of Royal County down. We're all right there, convenient. Like, Marion was awesome, but we had to shuttle back to the hotel, and like we were celebrating in the bus back. But it's just not the same when you walk off the golf course after closing ceremony, and it's just,
here we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Colt, send it.
I did.
He will.
It
a
was
little
fun.
rocket. That's what
I'll tell you what, Rick, this has been an absolute blast. Can't thank you enough for sitting down with us, my man.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you,
boys.
Rick. Appreciate you.